Imagine if the spiritual successor to the Cessna 172 isn't even powered like it. Imagine that the true heir to the most iconic training and personal aircraft in history might not burn avgas at all. Or maybe it will, just a lot cheaper than today. The race is on. Electric aircraft, hybrid aircraft, and a reborn generation of simple, efficient, budget-friendly piston planes. By 2026, one of these directions will quietly become the standard for the next 30 years of private aviation. And the most important question is, which one actually makes sense for real pilots, not just marketing brochures? Let's rewind for a moment. Why is the Cessna 172 the king in the first place? It wasn't speed, it wasn't luxury, it wasn't technology. It was predictability, simplicity, and cost balance. It was the airplane that made ordinary people pilots. Schools trusted it, families loved it, mechanics respected it. It democratized the sky. And right now, aviation desperately needs another aircraft like that. Affordable to buy, affordable to maintain, affordable to fly. But the world has changed. Fuel prices, environmental pressure, regulation, noise complaints, infrastructure, all of it is pushing aviation toward a crossroads. And by 2026, the industry will have to choose: electric, hybrid, or a smarter old-school internal combustion revival. Let's start with the boldest dream: fully electric aircraft. On paper, they are perfect. Quiet, clean at the point of use, no vibration, no oil, no magneto headaches, instant torque, cheaper energy costs per hour. Governments love them, environmental groups love them, communities love them because they're so much quieter. Companies like Pipistrel, Magnix Projects, and several startups are already flying them in training environments. And Europe is arguably leading the early adoption push. And in flight training specifically, electric makes incredible sense. Circuits, pattern work, short training hops, predictable missions, easy charging between rotations. That's like fairy tale territory for electric propulsion. Maintenance is another huge advantage. Way fewer moving parts, fewer failures, less downtime. For flight schools, that's profit stability. But here comes reality. Battery energy density is still nowhere near gasoline. Weight is the enemy of aviation, and batteries are heavy. Range remains extremely limited. Charging infrastructure is practically non-existent at most GA airports. And in colder climates, performance drops further. When you need a quick turnaround, a battery doesn't care. It still needs time. Plus, let's be honest, pilots love flexibility. We love deciding mid-flight to go further. Electric removes that freedom for now. So electric aircraft absolutely look like the future of flight training and local operations, but becoming the true all-purpose heir to the Skyhawk by 2026? That might be too ambitious. Incredible potential, but still trapped by physics and infrastructure. So what about hybrid aircraft? This is where aviation starts to sound like cars did in the early 2000s. A mix of electric efficiency and IC reliability. A gasoline engine when you need endurance. Electric systems for quiet, efficient segments like takeoff assistance or cruise optimization. Hybrids promise what everyone wants: range without fear, lower emissions without total reliance on charging networks, and a gradual step toward the future rather than a brutal technological jump. For governments, hybrids feel responsible. For engineers, they feel achievable. For pilots, they feel reassuring. But hybrids come with their own set of problems. Complexity skyrockets. 2 propulsion systems, added electronics, batteries, generators. That means weight, and weight means certification headaches. Certification alone in aviation is brutally slow, conservative, and extremely expensive. Then we get to maintenance. GA already struggles with mechanics, parts, and cost. Now imagine troubleshooting a hybrid system in a small regional maintenance shop. Will there even be enough trained technicians? Or will hybrids become like luxury European cars? Great until they need a repair, then painfully expensive. Now let's talk about the least glamorous, but maybe the most realistic contender: a new generation of cheap, efficient internal combustion aircraft. Sounds boring, right? But maybe boring is exactly what general aviation needs. Modern lightweight engines, unleaded fuel compatibility, better efficiency, lower operating costs, simpler avionics options without forcing expensive glass cockpits. Aircraft that do what the Cessna 150 and early Skyhawks did: make flying financially reasonable again. Because at the end of the day, aviation is not dying because it's technologically outdated. It's dying because it's financially inaccessible. Look at current trends: rising fuel, maintenance inflation, hangar scarcity, insurance growth, aging fleets with expensive overhauls. Many pilots don't need futuristic avionics. They need freedom that doesn't destroy their bank account. And ironically, the solution might not be futuristic at all. It might simply be smarter execution of proven technology with modern manufacturing. Think cleaner engines. Think lighter airframes. Think simpler certification categories. A return to practicality instead of over-engineering luxury. This kind of aircraft doesn't look sexy on magazine covers, but it keeps people flying. So here's where I want to ask you something important, and I genuinely want you to argue, debate, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which path should aviation choose? Do you trust electric to truly scale? Do you believe hybrids will become mainstream, or will they remain expensive niche machines? Or do you think the industry needs to swallow its ego and admit that the most powerful innovation is affordability, not electricity? Think about lifestyle too. Pilots love cross-country trips, adventure, flexibility, unpredictability. Right now, electric fits structured training missions brilliantly. Hybrids might unlock more range, but at a cost. Cheap ICE keeps the go-anywhere soul alive, but it struggles politically against environmental momentum. And governments matter. Regulation shapes aviation more than passion does. Environmental policies, taxes, airport zoning decisions, these could absolutely push electric or hybrid forward, regardless of whether pilots are ready. The future might not be decided by engineers. It might be decided by politicians. Another angle: generational change. Younger pilots are more environmentally conscious. They don't have nostalgia for carb heat and old-school analog flying. They might accept electric aircraft more easily than older pilots who grew up listening to Lycomings and Continentals roar. Maybe the aircraft that wins will be the one that emotionally connects to the next wave of aviators. The Skyhawk wasn't just a machine, it was an identity. The heir to that throne needs heart, not just technology. So here's my personal prediction. By 2026, electric dominates training environments in select regions. Hybrid remains promising, but limited in availability due to cost and certification drag. And the real everyday pilot hero will still likely be a smarter, more efficient combustion aircraft, unless governments aggressively force change. But that window will not stay open forever. If electric infrastructure expands quickly, the balance could flip shockingly fast. Aviation history is full of sudden turning points. This is why this conversation matters right now, because whatever direction wins in the next few years will define general aviation for decades. So let's start the debate. Which future do you want to fly in? Do you want silence and instant torque? Do you want hybrid reassurance and efficiency? Or do you want affordability and mechanical simplicity? Tell me what you believe. Tell your stories. Share your fears, your hopes, your frustrations. Because somewhere out there, the next Skyhawk is being designed. And one way or another, it will change how we all fly.